collected our information together. Up there behind you, as you can see, this is one of the largest lakes in the whole world. This is Lake Nasser. This lake, by the way, it was formed after the construction of the dam. That's between 1960 to 1970. Really, my dear friends, when President Nasser he decided to build his new dam in Aswan, he had to meet two main problems here. The Nubian people already were lived around this area, and the treasures, the temples which exist here. More than 46 villages already were lived around this area. About 150 sound views already they were lived from the Nubians views whom already were lived here. And more than 13 temples here around this area we had. That's why at the time when he decided to build the high dam, he had to meet two main problems, the Nubians and the treasures. The Nubians, he had to immigrate them or transported them from here to the north of Aswan in the town of Komombo right now. For the treasures, for the temples, how he can do, especially at the time Egypt hadn't no more money to build the high dam, to build new houses for the Nubians, to save more than 13 temples. That's why he asked the UNESCO to help Egypt. More than 51 nations agreed to help with us, like United States, England, French, German, Chinese, Japanese, Australians, Canadians. Really, all of those people they helped. Why they helped? For our eyes? No, madam, because it's a heritage for all of us. That's why they helped us. Especially when President Nasser, at the same time, he asked them to borrow him more money for the construction of the high dam, they refused. But because this is a heritage for all of us, that's why they helped us. You get it, me? By the way, I'm so sorry, my colleague. I'm so sorry, I forget myself.
No, you're passionate. That's good.
That's good.
Very passionate.
But for you, have a seat here, please. Because especially they didn't use any material like cement or gypsum. They just use a chemicals material like a glue, like a jelly. That's why you can't see where is the cut that's inside. Also, can you see here? Please try to compare between those two pictures for the same statues. Here when they finish from their cutting and try to shift it out the head. But here when they try to shift it in again. That's right. Here also this is a small temple when they finish from their cutting and then they rebuilt it again.
Oh, so they did that with the small
The same.
Oh.
Both of them, right now I'll see you, madam, where is the two temples it was. Here is one of the dome, but before we covered it by sand or rocks. والنبي احلى انا ولا الموفي اللي انت راح تشوفيه. قلت لك في اختلاف لازم يعني عشان الدكتوره بس قالت حاجه بنكشها كده. By the way, have a look all of you. Can you see this plateau? Please have a look down. Can you see this big this plateau? Down, not down the top of the plateau, down the level waters, about 66 meters. Down up there, doctor. Up there, down this plateau, about 66 meters below. This is the original location of the Great One. But beneath that plateau, under the stage of the sound and light show directly, the original location of the small one, the small temple. I mean, we had to move all of them together and move that about 66 meters higher and 200 feet to the back. Feet. 200 feet to the back. Yeah. By the way,
You just mentioned
ده الساعة 6:30 على الستيج ده بتاع الصوت والضوء بتقعدي وتختاري اللغة اللي يعجبك وبتبدأ الساعة 6:30
ثانية
وبتخلص
واحدة، مش
7:30.
بيقول لك بيقفل الساعة 4؟
المعبد بيقفل الساعة 4 لكن الصوت والضوء بيبدأ بعد بالليل.
الراجل كان عايز
reflexive.
يروحنا. طب ثانية واحدة، the guy wanted to take us back to Aswan. He said
This is the original location of the two temples. That's before we moved it. Can you see? مش هتشوفيها تاني الصورة دي يعني. دي كانت ده في المعبدين قبل ما يتقطعوا. Can you see the river Nile? It was very close to the two temples. Right now, what I said before is just small brief about this area and about how we cut it. Right now, please, my dear friends, before I start my historical background about the two temples, lend me your heart before your ears or your eyes to let this for you more sweetness place throughout Egypt. Right now, you can imagine together that we are standing and sit together in front of the facade of the great temple of King Ramesses II. Ramesses the Great, King of the Kings, Lord of the Desert, as he called himself, as he pretended himself. But before we start, we have to ask ourselves at the first, why? Why Ramesses already he decided to build that great, that unique, that amazing temples here? I know you have seen more temples before that one. But please don't try to compare between Abu Simbel to any other temples throughout Egypt. At the end, I'll tell you why. No. By the way, my dear friend, why, my dear friends, he decided? When he decided to build, he had many reasons: political, economic, and religious reasons. The political reason, he wants to control his southern border of Egypt. From the Nubians and the African enemies. As you know, just 120 kilometers from here, we can reach to the northern border of Sudan. So he wants to control his southern border of Egypt. I mean, this is a political or strategical reason. That's right. About the others of the 13 temples, that's much easy to move. Why? The other temple like Philae, it was built like this, one by one. I mean, block by block. That's much easy to dismantling those blocks and to rebuild it again. About those two temples, it's hardness to deal with them like this. Why? Those two temples, it doesn't build. Those two temples like a caves. Just the whole temple curved out inside the solid rock, inside the cliff. That's when we had to move. How we can move the mountain? It's not logic. That's why, after with 1 year, with more discussion between the engineering and the Egyptologists, they decided to cut it, the whole temples, to huge blocks, to big stones, at least for each one, sometimes reach to 20 to 30 tons for each one. Also, when they want to cut it, they just used the hand saw and electric saw. The thickness saw, which they used it from outside, just 6 millimeters. But the thickness saw, which they used it from inside, just 4 millimeters. That's why it's really hardness for anyone to discover really where is the cut.